Welcome to another episode of Women Investing in Women. Robin and I welcome you, and we are thrilled for you to meet our special guest today. And as we get prepared to meet her, let's take a step back and think about why it is important for each of us women to show up as ourselves authentically in our wholeness, embracing our power, which includes accepting ourselves for who we are. It's not who we used to be. It's not who we are going to become, but every moment of our life, accepting who we are, embracing ourselves, and loving the woman inside. Remember, each of us contains the divine within us. And the relationship we build with our divine is going to be the most important relationship. And that divine is beautiful in every sense of the word. And that divine is powerful. And that divine has been put here for a purpose. So embrace your inner goddess, embrace who you're meant to be, and celebrate you at every stage. Because just like the moon, you are whole no matter what stage you are in today. With that in mind, Robin, take it away.
All right. I am absolutely thrilled to have Jessica Papineau on our program today. I just met her a couple of weeks ago at the David and Carol Bayer, the Powerful Living Experience conference. And I just met her just very briefly as someone who does styling for women, fashion design and those sorts of things. And I was very intrigued. And as we got into more of a conversation, I learned very quickly that with Jessica, it is far deeper and far broader than just the clothing you put on, but the clothing you put on and the style and all of that is a vehicle for enhancing and enlarging and portraying who you are. So Jessica, please tell us a little bit about what you do and this connection between how we dress and style ourselves and how that manifests who we are and what we want to become out into the world. I know that's a big question.
It is a big question. Thank you so much. Thank you both of you for having me today. I'm very excited to be sharing with your guests or as a guest with your listeners and watchers here. I own a company called CSJ Styling. It is an authentic fashion styling company. So much like you said, Robin, it really is all about having who that woman is on the inside reflected on the outside. So what I do is I help high-performing women to elevate their fashion and in turn transform their careers, relationships, and lives. This woman that I work with, that I serve really in the deepest way, because I serve many women of all ages and sizes and in different seasons of life. But generally, the woman that I serve in the deepest way really is that high-performing woman that desires to be the best version of who she is in every area of her life. And over the past 25 years, working with really thousands of women, I have learned how to really hone in and learn who each woman truly is, who she desires to be, and help her to really step into her power and the woman she's becoming by showing up powerfully in how she's presenting herself.
That is so beautiful to hear, Jessica. I grew up in the middle of a genocidal war. But the nuns who educated us always told us one thing. It doesn't matter if you're going to get shot coming to school today, but you're going to dress impeccably. You're going to hold your head high. You're going to embrace that joy, and you're going to walk with confidence, because the way you show up is the reason why you're going to survive. And I grew up believing that, grew up living like that. And I saw how it transformed us as young girls to have that confidence, even when somebody was standing in front of us to harm us, not to back off, because when we dress well, we feel well, and therefore we show up strong. So, drawing from that experience, I'm really curious to see what is the internal transformation you have seen in women as you guide them through this process. And when you guide them through the process, how have you seen yourself transform?
Oh my gosh, I love this question so much. Um, what's interesting is, most people think of a fashion stylist working with celebrities and, they're all about what the latest trends and fashions are, but really I come at it from a very different way. So the first part of my framework of my process working with women really is getting to know them, really getting to know what life they desire. Really holding the space with her so that she can take that pause and really discover and think about, put herself in a position where she's imagining what she desires so that I literally close my eyes and I imagine what she looks like when she tells me where it is that she desires to be. And as far as watching transformations, women, when they look in the mirror, when I first get them to try clothes on, and I always get them to try fitted clothes on that are a really great fit in fabric. And what a woman does when she first looks in the mirror is her eyes, they go right to the areas of her body that she feels shameful of. And when she does this, that's all she can see. She doesn't see herself in all her beauty. She just focuses in on that one thing. And so when a woman does that, when she first looks in a mirror, when she's by herself, her automatic response is to cover it up, to take a large top and just cover the whole thing up because she doesn't want to show up and she wants to hide. And so what I teach women how to do is I show her through the fitted clothing, and I call it the cake, how to highlight her best features, that every woman has beauty. And once we highlight those features and I put some of the icing on the cake, it's so wonderful to watch. And it happens very quickly as she's looking in the mirror and I'm peering in, watching her look in the mirror. I see the shift in her eyes and she begins looking at her whole body. And I always know the moment that the transformation is happening because transformations happen in moments. And I see her eyes usually fill with tears, and she'll look at herself and then turn to me, and she'll typically say, "This is the first time that I truly felt beautiful." And so what I see happening, how this transfers into their lives is once she sees herself, she can allow her true authentic self with all her gifts to shine through. And she begins living a life where her relationships deepen. She has more success in her work. And she begins to live into her purpose. And instead, as that high performer feeling the push that she has to be the best, she's pulled in such a way that she actually is living within her purpose and why she's here. And so what I see things like women's businesses going from doing, okay and doing well to it exploding and her making a big impact on the world, or executive women that suddenly get this huge promotion where they're serving a lot of people on a large scale and she's attracting so many people to her and impacting their lives because she's gotten over herself and she begins serving on a very deep level.
Wow, that is really amazing what you're saying, this transformation. And I'm wondering, a lot of what you're talking about is a shift in mindset. And so what are some of the things you do to help women even agree to want to go through this process, which can be very, very vulnerable and intimidating spot, to agree to the process and to allow themselves, give themselves permission to have this shift in mindset? What are some of the things that hold women back from doing that?
What's really interesting, Robin, is that many women, when they first reach out to me, I ask them the question how they found me and when they first looked me up. And we did some analytics on this, and it is from the time they first look up a fashion stylist to the time that they actually execute. So they'll usually follow me on social media and begin watching and learning some things on their own, having some curiosity about it. But the average amount of time that it takes someone to reach out is a full year. And I ask the question, why did it take you so long to reach out? And the answers that I get are, well, I was really intimidated. I saw you on social media and it looked like you had things all together and you were so perfect. Or I was waiting to lose weight and I was going to reward myself once I lost the weight. Or I was waiting to get the promotion so that I could invest in myself. And then what I hear, so the way that I get her to really trust and open up is I share my story with her. And I share with her my true self and who I am, and how I grew up with living off the land, no electricity, no running water, how I felt as a child that I was superficial and unworthy of feeling beautiful, and how I imagined a better life for myself, and how I stepped into the woman that I am now by watching many other women go through this transformation. And I tell stories about other women that have transformed. And when I do that, she can relax and begin to really go there and talk to me about what she desires.
That is absolutely brilliant. And storytelling is about verbally painting a picture. And that is the absolutely most impactful way to guide the transformation. I'm so happy to hear you share that. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. The world is changing. The role of the woman is changing. The way women are accepted and the way women feel empowered to show up is transforming. So as the world is transforming and you are serving women beyond the borders of the United States, how are you pivoting and transforming, and what do you see for your future and how that future is going to continue to evolve to help the women of the world?
Oh my gosh, you two ask the best questions. In serving so many women one-on-one for so many years, I've had this dream and this desire for myself to serve and impact on a deeper level. And one thing that we've learned, going through, the pandemic and having the ability to, get on Zooms and serve a bunch of people at one time, and get on social media and just really share a message that's really important. I've had to really be thoughtful about how I'm going to move forward in my company. So we're actually creating an app, which I could have a Facebook community. I know a lot of people choose to do that. I've come up with a digital course to really teach women how to set their wardrobes up for success, and my process over 25 years of being in this business. But the reason why I'm doing this within an app is so that I can have a community where it's a safe place, where it's just the women that I serve, just CSJ styling, where women can come and feel safe to show up in a way that is authentic, and that they're aligned with other women that really desire to lift other women up, that have that aligned thinking of, when you get like-minded women that are powerful, that want to work with each other to lift each other up, this is where true innovation in this world happens. And I believe women, over the years have tried to insert themselves into a man's world. And I think it's time that we all, are in this together. And through the styling and really teaching women how to show up in their power through their image, that we can all be together and I can impact on a deep level, but these women can also impact each other through a community. And so we'll be also bringing in guest expert speakers that are mindset coaches, that are therapists, that are business minded, and all different areas so that I can really help to impact on that deep level. So I will continue to work with women one-on-one, but I'll have the ability to meet each woman where she's at in her season of life, in her journey, but also have a large group of women that are being impacted at one time.
That sounds really amazing. I'm loving the vision that you're having and the enthusiasm and just being so proactive. A question that's coming to into my mind, and which we actually ask a lot of our guests, are what are some of the challenges that you have faced in creating and developing your business, both external challenges and some internal challenges that you have had to face and overcome or navigate through?
Well, the first thing I would say kind of externally would be that, like I mentioned to Cass before we even started recording, is how how I approach fashion styling is very different, and it's a little bit uncommon and difficult for some people to understand that are in the fashion world. So when I made the shift to actually carrying my own inventory and curating lines of clothing that I know align with all women and that I can, serve them in the best way. It was very difficult. I would go to market. I go to market a couple times a year and order, scout out new lines and go into these beautiful showrooms. And many of these companies will not even sell to me. Some of them won't even let me in the door because they're so concerned with the way things used to be and not forward thinking. So they're all about selling to a brick and mortar, and they don't understand how one person can serve many and sell a large volume. So that's one thing. And we're still, working on these, this still is an issue for us. The other area is people that I've hired to help me share the message and really show the personal brand and the message behind the fashion styling. So finding people in marketing that can share the message, but also, social media. I've had a lot of trouble finding someone that understands my voice and the message and the impact that I'm trying to make. And then internally, it has been a struggle for me because I've had to show up fully in my power. And I say something to myself, and I share this with others, and I've done many talks on this with women. Get up, suit up, and show up. And what I mean by that is we all wake up every morning as that high performing woman with a little bit of angst, with a little bit of fear of what's going to unfold today, or am I going to be successful, or what are others going to think of me? And so much like Cass had mentioned, I am very intentional with how I get up in the morning and move my body and work out in the morning and take the time to take a shower, wash my hair, intentionally put on my makeup. If it's a Monday, feel free to put on my best outfit and show up. And I do that for myself, and I'm still scared. I still feel unworthy at times of sharing my message on this large scale and feeling like my words actually matter, because as a woman growing up, being told to be quiet and be small, it's been very difficult for me to have a voice. And so I put myself in situations where I scare myself half to death. And I'm terrified right now to go on this large platform and share with all these women. because I'm revealing myself.
Thank you for that vulnerable share. Thank you so much, Jessica. It is amazing how time flies when we start digging deep and getting connected to our guest and the conversation. But before we move any further, I want to make sure you take a moment to share how folks can reach you, get in touch with you, so that in addition to your message, the ability to connect with you and work with you is also accessible.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I believe that it's really important for every woman to feel worthy of having a fashion stylist, of having someone guide them and help them put a plan together so that they can have full success and joy in their lives. So I offer every woman that envisions a better life for herself or envisions a better wardrobe for herself and desires that to reach out to me. We'll have a link here of how she can reach out and book her own freestyling call. And that's a 45-minute call where I really get to know her, what it is that she desires, what some of the needs are she has within her wardrobe, and formulate a plan, whether that's right now or how she may perhaps begin to start taking action for herself. And we can really determine what's the best program and the best option for her. Now that I have a membership program that will be rolled out in the next couple of months, there will be 3 different tiers of membership, and we can determine where she best fits in. So it may be she's ready to just try this out herself, and I have a digital course coming out where we can put her on a wait list to have that ability to do that. We'll have the community as well, where she, if she sees herself there, we can talk about that. Or we can also talk about the one-on-one styling and how I can help. We'll also link here, I have a free wardrobe edit blueprint where she can go and begin the process even today, some really easy, actionable steps. I would highly recommend that women start to follow me because I try so hard to offer so much value on social media. And we'll have all these links here. But yeah, those would be really the best ways of finding me and discovering if this is right.
Great. That's really very exciting. In closing, do you have like one sentence or 1 or 2 sentence final golden nugget that you'd like women to take away from this conversation?
What I would say is we really don't know what we're capable of or what our lives could be until we push ourselves past our limits. And my message really is allow yourself to be curious, but also to be scared and do it anyway, and really lean in to the uncomfortable. And because I truly believe that when we do that, we grow and we have the opportunity to really experience joy in our lives. And I believe that we're all put here for a purpose, and some of us never live into that purpose because we have a fear of showing up and a fear of not being successful.
That is brilliant advice. Thank you so much, Jessica. This has been an absolute delight to have this conversation with you. And not only we are excited for our audience to see and hear and take your message, we would love to have the opportunity to feature some of the women you're transforming so that as they transform and come into their own to live their purpose, we want to amplify their voice. We want to reinforce the butterfly they have turned into as they break out of their cocoon. So help us help them, lift them up, because this is Women Investing in Women. As such, Robin and I are truly committed to shaping the lives of women and amplifying their voice, because when their voice is heard, every woman feels beautiful and powerful. And that is where we see an opportunity for us to collaborate and co-create. And to our audience out there, remember the words you just heard Jessica mention. Growth happens only from a place of discomfort, right? Think about for a moment, charcoal and diamond are chemically the same thing. Only difference is charcoal under pressure over time turns into diamond, and the diamond deposit doesn't shine until it's polished to perfection. So take the pressure, use it to transform, and then reach out to people who can help you, like Jessica, like other coaches who are going to help you with your mindset, the way you show up, different folks for different things, right? Even Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan has his own coach, right? We all need coaches to shape us and become the woman you're meant to be. Because when each of you become the women you're meant to be, our world becomes a better place for us collectively, for our children, and our future.